Good morning, Mr. Chalman here. Today we're going to be going over domain and range. So if you look here, you can see I've got a little Jamboard pulled up and we have a graph right here and a function that's been graphed on here, right? It's in red. Okay, when we talk about domain and range, I like to think of it like X and Y. Whenever you're talking about a graph and graphing things, the x-axis is always this one. So we go x. We always say x first and do this. The y-axis is the vertical axis up here. So it's all of these numbers are the y on the y-axis, right? So I go like this. And you never really say y and x, right? It just sounds weird. Use the alphabet to say x and y, just like we do in the alphabet. So I do this with my hands. It's very specific. X and y. When you do those things, those physical motions, it makes it work, or it cements it in your brain better. It makes it easier for you to remember which one is which. Now, it's the same thing with domain and range. We always say domain first, then range. You never hear anyone say range and domain. So it's actually the exact same hand movements. We go domain and range. So domain are all the possible x values or the horizontal values of your function, okay? Now, if we were talking about x values in the graph, it would just be any number on this line that would go on and on forever. However, our function only goes like a certain distance, right? Like it starts right here and it goes all the way over to here, right? So what we want to know are what are the possible x values? How far does it go left and right? What are the x inputs that are possibly on our vertical graph here, or our horizontal graph, okay? So I'm going to write that in really quick. Domain, all the possible x values on our function or graph, however you want to say it, okay? So if we were to draw a picture of that, we would say the function starts right here, right? This is the very first point on our graph, and it ends right here. Now what I like to do is I like to draw a vertical line onto all those x values, okay? So I go from right here, the function starts bloop, at -4, and it goes all the way up here. And if I draw a line straight down to the x-axis, kind of straight, I'm using a mouse, it lands at 6. So the domain for this function is -4 to +6. That is the domain, and it's every single value. Notice how this line is a solid line? That means every single number, even the little numbers in between, the little decimals, are all part of the domain of this function. Okay? If you have any questions on this, be sure to email your teacher or myself. Okay.